What is a retro gamer? Someone who only plays, likes, and collects retro games, or also plays next gen? I think you have to define it as, do you play and enjoy retro games?
Yeah.
You're a retro gamer. I don't think it'd be exclusively a retro game player to be a retro gamer.
Absolutely not. I play everything, but I'd consider myself largely a retro gamer. I mean, you also have to define retro. I feel like, and this is not pulling an age card, because I get a lot of customers in the store who are like 13, 14, 15 who are into retro games, but to them, what retro I think means to a lot of people is sprite-based or games that are predominantly 2D. Mm-hmm. Now, you could also make the argument for playing retro RPGs on the PS1, but really, no, I think a retro gamer is anyone who likes playing old games. If you're not playing current tech, if you're purposely avoiding current tech because you think there's plenty to play on older systems, you are in some way, shape, or form a retro gamer.
Now, do you consider the collecting part? How does that come into it at all in your mind?
No,
or is that separate?
No, collecting is completely separate. I don't think you have to collect at all to be a retro gamer. You could honestly, even though it's not always my preferred method, you could do nothing but ROMs on your computer. Now, I do from time to time. We've discussed that, but as long as you enjoy it and you're having fun and you enjoy the gameplay experience that an older game gives you, then you are a retro gamer by fact, because you like older stuff.
I would say, though, if you're trying to be true to the experience, though, you would not use, ROMs.
Well,
you would at least, I mean,
you should at least have the hardware.
At the very very, very least, go out and buy yourself one of those USB dongles, hook it up to an NES controller on your computer. And I would argue that you're still not getting the full experience because the video and audio is not exactly the same. And you could say what you will about the timing not being precise on the controller, but at least you're using the controller. And if you're going to do that, don't get the ones that are already hardwired.
No,
those are shitty.
Get the ports.
Get the adapter. They cost about $12. You only need one. You get a 4-score and hook it up to your computer, and then you can plug in whatever controller you want. And that's what I use if I have to play on a computer.
Yeah, I would say, I think emulation is a good gateway into becoming a retro gamer.
It's a gateway drug.
Or finding the system that you want.
Hell, that's how we started probably to come back in the late 90s.
Sure.
I
mean, it's a good way to find the system that you want to actually actively put money into.
Sure.
I think at the end, though, if you're really into retro games, you're at least going to end up with the hardware, and you might end up with an EverDrive. But I think if you're really into a system, you're going to own some of the games physically.
Sure.